So, you want to speak fluent English. Awesome. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to develop your personal English network so that you can begin speaking with other people in English and practicing the language to develop your speaking skills. So we're going to talk about how many people you should have in your personal English network, the 5 kinds of people that you should begin to add to your English network, and we're going to talk about where to meet these people, how to make friends with them, and overcome the barriers and fears that many English students face when they begin speaking in English. So that's the 30-second overview of what we'll be covering here. By the way, welcome back to EXLEnglish.com. My name is David, for those of you who haven't watched one of the videos or seen the blog yet. This is the 4th video in the Plain English series to accompany the special report, the articles, the worksheets, handouts, and videos that we're creating for you. So, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, before we do, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's been sending in such great feedback through the emails and leaving comments on the blog and in the videos. There's one here in particular. Let's see. Itiel said, "Hello there. Hey man, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. I really appreciate your playing video. It's awesome. It describes every step we need to do. As I told you before, my goal is to become an interpreter, and that's what I need to know in order to improve my skills. Thanks for your help and support. Keep up the good work, and I can't wait for more videos. God bless you, brother. Best regards." Well, thank you very much, Itiel. I really appreciate that. I like the fact that you've chosen a big goal right off the bat. You want to be an interpreter, which means you're going to have to develop your speaking skills very well. So just to encourage you and everyone else who is wanting to develop their speaking skills, I want to tell you a quick story about a personal friend of mine named Junior, who some of you may have met through other videos here on the blog in the past. Junior came and started studying here a few years ago. He ended up becoming a teacher, and just recently, about 3 weeks ago, he was invited to go down to a hydroelectric company where that was being inaugurated. Several international investors came and were meeting with the president of Brazil. And so Junior was one of the people that was invited to go and work as an interpreter for the president of Brazil. So if Junior can do it, you can do it too. Just keep, stay focused on your goal. It takes discipline, and you'll have to practice the language a lot, but you can do it. Other people like Junior have done it before. So I just wanted to take a moment and encourage you with that story, and also to say thank you to everyone for the great feedback. So, let's continue on here. Today we're going to be talking about developing your personal English network. Where do you find people to speak English with? A lot of people tell me, they say, "David, I'm studying English, but I don't know where to practice. I don't know who to practice with." And today, with the internet and online communities, you have no excuse to not be able to find people to practice English with, and I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? Speaking English is extremely important. If you want to become a fluent speaker, you have to begin speaking as soon as possible, preferably from day one. If some of you have seen Benny's videos on 3 months, Fluent in 3 months, I think, is the name of his website. He's also got a website called Speaking from Day One. And he has an awesome video there about how he's learned several languages by speaking a language from day one. And I know there's a lot of fear involved. A lot of students are afraid of making mistakes. They're embarrassed of other people laughing at them or talking about their mistakes. But that's just something you're going to have to overcome right off the bat. You're going to have to overcome that fear and that shame and just say, "I'm going to do it," okay? That's really the best advice I can give you, because if you think about it, when children begin speaking, their mother tongue, they make lots of mistakes. And making mistakes is how you learn, okay? Remember we talked about the scientific formula for success and the different phases there. Remember that when scientists are doing an experiment, they create a hypothesis of how they think something works. They set up an experiment to test their hypothesis, and if it works, then, you know, hey, great. They know that it confirms their hypothesis. And so even like Thomas Edison, you know, who invented the light bulb, they said he tried, I think, up to 10,000 times before he successfully created the first light bulb. And he said, now I know 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So it's the same thing with your English. You're going to learn something, you're going to learn a new word, you're going to learn a new grammar structure, you're going to learn a new sound, you're going to learn a new expression, and you're going to, you know, begin using these new words and expressions and sounds and grammar structures in your day-to-day English. And so you're going to say, okay, I think it works like this, and you're going to say something, a phrase with that word, and it may be right. People may understand you. It may not be right. And if it's not right, someone will correct you. Just like parents do with their children. That's how children learn. So you got to understand that making mistakes, first of all, is okay. Making mistakes is great. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes when you speak in English, because that's how you're going to learn correctly. If you never speak, if you never say anything in English, it's all up here in your head, you're not going to know if it's right or not. So you just have to get out there, begin speaking, begin making mistakes, and realize that mistakes are opportunities for you to learn. They'll either confirm your hypothesis about the language, and you'll say, okay, this is right, I said it, no one corrected me, awesome. Or someone will correct you and you'll learn the right way to use that word, the right context, the right sound, etc. Okay, so first of all, just try to get that in your head. Making mistakes is perfectly okay when you want to speak English. So now obviously you don't want to persist in those mistakes. If someone corrects you, you don't want to just keep saying the same wrong things, right? You're going to correct yourself and you're going to learn to say it correctly. So begin speaking from day one. When you learn something, remember in the plain English method, we talked about preparation, learning, and then you're going to learn something, and then you're going to activate it by using it, practicing it, and then you have to get out there in your network and begin to speak in English. So that's how you're going to develop your speaking skills, by practice. It's just like learning how to play the guitar. Okay? You don't just read a book about guitar playing and then pick up your guitar and start playing perfectly. You study a lesson, you read about how to make those notes, chords, the music theory, etc., and then you have to practice what you learn. The same thing with your English. You're going to learn something and then you have to activate it. To activate it, you need a network of people that you can speak with. So, to develop your personal English network, you're going to have to make friends with other people who are speaking English. And I recommend that you have at least 12 people in your personal English network. Okay, why 12? Because if you have at least 12 people in your network, then you can talk to 2 people every day. That way you've got people you can speak to every day, and then you don't contact the same people every day. If you only have 2 people in your network, and you contact those 2 people every day, and you call them and call them and call them, they may get irritated with you and not want to talk with you anymore. And that would be a bad thing. Now, obviously, you're going to have really close friends, people that you really like and really like you, and those kind of people you can talk with every day. But if you just meet someone and you start calling them all the time, you know, you're going to start wearing away on them, and then pretty soon they'll just block your cell phone number and won't answer your calls anymore. So that's why I recommend you have at least 12 people. You can practice the language every day with a couple of people and still have enough people to contact so you don't irritate them. But if you have too many people in your network, You know, let's say you have 100 people and you contact 2 every day, so you only talk to them every 2 months, you won't be able to develop a personal enough relationship with them. So you don't want to have so many, you know, that you don't contact them often enough to deepen your relationship, but you don't want to have too few where you contact the same people all the time and irritate them. So, you know, it's kind of a balance. You're going to have to get a feel for how much time you have to study and practice the language every day, how many people you can talk with, and how many people you can fit in your network. Now, the good thing is that your network's going to grow, you know? And as time goes on, some people may drop out, you'll be adding in more friends, but constantly you'll be speaking with new people in English every day. So let's talk about the 5 kinds of people you should be adding to your personal English network. First of all, you want to add people to your network who are English learners, English students just like you, who speak your native language. All right? So other people who live around you, live in your city, who live in your state, your country. Why? Because by meeting other English students just like yourself, that'll encourage you to keep studying, and you can practice your English with them, and you'll also be able to ask them questions about the language that you wouldn't be able to ask a native speaker. You know, if you have a native speaker, he's a great guy, you can practice your English with him. But if you have a question about something and you want to say, hey, how do you say this in English? He's not going to know what that word means in your mother tongue, and he won't be able to explain it to you in your mother tongue. So by knowing other people who speak your native language, they can help you answer your questions and remove doubts that you have. All right? The second kind of person you should have in your personal English network are English students from other countries who don't speak your native language. All right? Now, I know I just said have people in your network who do speak your native language so you can ask them questions. But you also want to have people in your network who don't speak your native language so you won't be tempted to talk to them all the time in your native language. You know, a lot of times you meet up with another English students and you start talking in English, but pretty soon you slip into speaking your mother tongue. And, you know, there's no problem if you have a question, but if you're serious about practicing and developing your English skills, then that extra motivation of having someone who you can't communicate with them in any other language other than English will force you to speak English quickly. There was another student that I had several years back who started learning English just like this. There's a group of native people who came to our city. And so they invited me, I was asked to go and help out as an interpreter. And I took along several students, people that I knew that either spoke English or were interested in speaking English. Most of them, people who went as interpreters, already spoke a little to help out. But one guy in particular was just a friend, but he really wanted to learn English. So he kind of tagged along with us. And when we got there, you know, it was really funny because he didn't speak much English at all. So he'd go up and kind of say, hey, how are you? And try to understand what they were saying, but he wasn't able to communicate a lot. So he told me later, he said, hey, David, you know, I ran home, I got my dictionary, and so I started learning new phrases to practice with them the next day. The things that I had in mind, okay, how do I say this in English? Or I wanted to say this, or they said this, what did it mean? And so it forced him to begin developing his English skills. And so soon after that, he was really interested in learning the language. He signed up as a student, started studying, and eventually became an English teacher. So having people like this will motivate you to speak English more and more, develop your speaking skills, having that contact, that motivation to learn. The third kind of person you want to have in your network are mavens. Remember, mavens are those people who already speak English fluently and proficiently. They've learned the language. They've been there before you. They've walked the path. They know the difficulties and troubles and problems that you face as a student. So not only can you practice your English with them, but most questions that you have, they will be able to answer. And that's a great thing because, you know, they're kind of like a mentor for you. Not only can you look up to them and say, hey, this guy learned English I can do it too. He's just like me. But also if you have questions, you can ask him, say, hey, why does it work this way? Or how do you say this? Or what does this mean? And he can help you out based on his experience. The fourth kind of person that you should have in your network are English teachers. English teachers are professionals in the area. They're people who speak the language fluently. If they speak your mother tongue, that can be a benefit because, like I said before, they can answer questions that a native English speaker, teacher, wouldn't be able to explain in your native language. That oftentimes, a lot of times the students in the classroom have a question, and if I try to explain it in English, it can take a long time. They may get really frustrated. In the end, not even understand what I was trying to explain. Whereas just a quick explanation, translation, or 30-second speech, if you will, if explaining it in their native tongue, they'll understand it perfectly and then go on to be able to practice it and use it. All right? The fifth and final kind of person that you want to add to your network are native English speakers. And I know a lot of people are worried about, how are they going to meet native English speakers? Where are they going to find people like this to be their friends? And stuff like this. But don't worry, I'll explain all that to you in just a second. Just realize that by having native speakers in your network will be awesome for you, especially and specifically in the area of pronunciation, because you'll be talking with them, you'll hear how they pronounce the words. So if you have people from different areas of the world, you make friends from England, friends from the United States, friends from Australia and New Zealand. You'll have people all over the place with different kinds of accents. You'll develop your listening skills by listening to their pronunciation. You'll be able to understand people from all over. Nothing worse than studying English for a long time, focusing specifically on one accent and then traveling to another country and not being able to understand much at all. So it's just a skill that you develop through practice. So make friends with people from several countries who have different kinds of accents. Add them to your personal English network so that you can develop your skills in this area. All right? Fantastic. So those are the 5 kinds of people. Now let's talk about where you can meet these people. First of all, I specifically recommend that you try to learn in English about things you already like. Find ways to learn the language that you already enjoy. Because that way, not only will you be learning about something else you enjoy, which will motivate you to continue, but you'll also be learning the language. So you'll be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So in the example I used here on the site was guitar playing, because I'm learning how to play the guitar, trying to learn, and so that's just an area that I can relate to. So let's say that you like to play the guitar. You can go to a blog, you can read articles about guitar playing, you can watch videos about guitar playing, develop your listening skills, listen to podcasts about guitar playing. And so you're already learning the vocabulary, seeing those words in context, the structures of how the sentences are formed, the different pronunciations through the listening of the audios and the podcast. And then at the end, you can leave comments on the blogs or on the videos in English. And so you're also developing your writing skills. You're developing all 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and then the speaking is what's going to come in by developing your personal English network. So as you leave comments on the blog, other people will reply. You get to know these people. You'll begin to make friends with them. You can add them to your social networks and then add them to your instant messengers like MSN or Hotmail or whatever, Skype or whatever chat, chat programs that you enjoy using. So that way you can make friends with other guitar players. It doesn't matter if they're other English students or if they're native speakers. You'll find a blog where people from other countries are participating who also speak English. You can practice your English with them. You'll also meet other guitar players who are native English speakers, and you can communicate with them. You have something in common, a way to relate to them and begin to develop that friendship. So initially you may start off talking about guitar, but they will help you with your English as well. If you're an awesome guitar player, you can also offer to teach them, give them guitar lessons or tips for free, and they, in exchange for teaching you English. I had another friend who did this. He wanted to learn English, so he gave guitar lessons to a friend of his who spoke English, and his friend taught him English in return. So that way, you can make friends with people who are speaking English and add them to your personal English network. And it doesn't matter if they're native speakers or if they're English students, but there's lots of people who like other things just like you who you can add to your network as well to begin this speaking and practicing the language with. Other great places to learn the language are in language forums. Okay, specifically forums like usingenglish.com or englishforums.com. You can go there, meet other English students and also the people, the moderators, the English teachers who participate there as well, and make friends with those people. There are language learning forums in general, like howtolearnanylanguage.com or unilang.com. So you can go there and you can go to forums. For example, I'm living in Brazil, so if you speak Portuguese, then you can participate in the Portuguese forum, so that way you can help out other people who want to learn your language. In this case, Portuguese, for example, so you meet other people who speak English as their mother tongue and they want to learn your mother tongue, then you help them learn Portuguese and they help you learn English. So that's another great way to make friends with these people as well and add them to your personal English network. Also, you could, if you want, start your own blog. You could start your own blog about guitar playing, for example. You're the one who creates the posts, the videos, the articles, giving the tips, and that way it'll attract people to your blog who want to learn what you have to teach them, and they'll leave the comments on your blog and they'll be looking you up. You'll be the expert, so to speak. So instead of you having to go out and try to find people, to meet, people will be coming to you and wanting to meet you. Or if you're learning English, you can just start a blog about your own language learning development, sharing resources that you find, websites that you found, videos that you found that have been helping you. And as you share those on your blog, other people will come and leave comments and also want to meet you as well. So those are some ways that you can develop your English network, make friends with other people who are wanting to learn English or already speak English and can help you so that you can begin speaking the language and practicing with them every day. So like I said, there's that kind of fear and barrier of speaking. You're just going to have to get over it, and you do that by realizing that making mistakes is okay. It's the way you're going to learn. So just make friends with those people, be a nice person, communicate with them, talk with them, chit-chat, and as you develop and deepen your relationship, then you can begin to contact them more often, speak English with them more often, and just move them closer and closer into your circle of friends. And then once you've got them in your chat messenger like Skype or MSN, then you can actually use your microphone and talk with them. There's also another resource that we've mentioned, which is Visio Chat, where there's video conferencing, or even with Skype, where you can actually see them and communicate with them in English every day. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I think, let's see if there's anything else I wanted to say. Anyways, now I've been rambling on here for a little while, but I hope this video helps you realize that you can speak English. You just have to start, with whatever you know. Just learn a little bit and then practice it and use it. And then just like my friend did, okay, what do I need to know next? What words did I want to say that I didn't know how to say? Or how was I going to form that sentence? And then you go and study it, learn a little bit more, then go out and practice it and use it. And just like a guitar player who, studying his lessons, developing his skills, practicing, it's just going to grow and grow and grow, and soon you'll be speaking fluent and proficient English, which is probably your goal if you're watching this video. Okay, thank you very much. Let me see, there was somebody else another question that I remembered was, he said, it's really amazing even to read this. I'm really thrilled and excited to learn to speak English fluently, and I'm confident that if I practice as suggested, then anyone who follows the steps mentioned above will surely become a fluent English speaker like natives. Thanks a lot for the information on how to learn English. That was from Janardan. And Tojidan, he had a question here, which is what I wanted to address. He said, I really love the messages which I'm receiving from you. They're very useful and helpful, especially for me. I'm crazy of learning English and speaking it. You were talking about some mini stories which I couldn't find them. My question is how can I subscribe myself in the group of your students, and how can you help me, please? Okay, Tojidan, that's awesome. Meeting other people who are enthusiastic about learning English, just like you. The mini stories, which we've mentioned before, you can find at the vip.excelenglish.com/members, where we've been creating material for our students here at the school over the years. And so a lot of people were calling and asking us to help them. So we began putting this material and information online about 2 years ago, and we were teaching through videocasts, webcasts, and things like that. So if you'd like to join, you can go to excelenglish.com/go/VIP. That'll take you to the page where you can find all the information about how to join this group and participate as well. I'll put the link there below if you're watching this on YouTube or on the blog. And probably if you go to the website, I'll add some other videos there as well to help you out with other mavens and English speakers and give you some more speaking tips. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead, don't forget to subscribe to the blog, or so you receive the posts through your feeds, or if you'd like to receive updates through your email, also join and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere else you find us online. So I look forward to helping you speak English and developing your language skills. God bless you all. Have a great day, and bye-bye.